So we're here in CPAC with Tom DeLay, and we're going to talk about domestic policy or foreign policy, whichever he prefers.
I can talk about anything. Are you kidding me?
Okay, well, do you have a preference between those two general subjects? Or
Domestic policy, yeah.
Okay. So I think one of the important questions in domestic policy is redistribution of wealth.
Yes.
And my question to you is, do you think the government should redistribute its citizens' wealth?
Well, actually, the bigger question is the difference in worldview in this country, which leads to redistribution of wealth. For 130 years, the progressive / communist socialists, the left, have shredded our Constitution, and they have a worldview that the society evolves and man evolves, therefore the government needs to evolve. And starting with Theodore Roosevelt, they started this redistribution of wealth, and the authority of the federal government, which is not constitutional at all, doesn't even reflect the slightest worldview of our founding fathers.
They call it the living constitution, right?
Yeah, well,
because they think it's growing and changing.
Yeah, that means living means man is in charge and gets to define truth, and therefore the Constitution needs to keep up with them, rather than my worldview, which is God gave us our rights. Our founding fathers understood that, and that they created a government that is formed to adhere to the consent of the governed and protect those rights. It has nothing to do with giving the government the rights to steal from you to give to me.
Yeah, as the Declaration of Independence says, to secure these rights, governments are instituted. In other words, the purpose of government is to protect our rights, and that's it.
That's it.
Nothing else.
That's it.
Right? And we know that because they had the 10th Amendment, right?
That's right.
Said if we didn't give you the power, you don't have it.
Yeah.
So what happened? What happened? What happened during your term?
The Eighth Amendment.
How did you let this government grow like this?
Well, and when I was in Congress, it didn't grow.
Oh, okay.
When we took over for the first time in 40 years, the Republicans in 1995, the first spending bills that we had, we eliminated over 100 programs and agencies. We balanced the budget. We had a surplus at $650 billion. Bill Clinton wanted to spend it, but we sent it back to the American people.
Now, they don't mention that too often, right? That it was the Congress that was restricting the spending desires of the president.
We, as the majority in the House of Representatives, understood that we had the power of the purse, and we used it.
Why didn't they use it with this Congress that had the power of the purse? And they caved.
Well, unfortunately, they don't. They gave away the power of the purse the minute they took the majority back. Unfortunately, they don't understand that if they don't understand how to use the power of the purse as we did, and if you stick by your guns, you pay for everything. If you don't want to pay for something, you don't, and you just let the president sit there until he at least comes to the table to negotiate.
Absolutely. So why didn't they do that? Why didn't they stick to their guns?
Why don't you ask them that?
I've been asking them, but I haven't got any good answers. So getting back to my first question, which was, should the government redistribute its citizens' wealth? Could we say that your answer is no?
Absolutely not. We ought to eliminate our welfare programs. Those are the prerogatives of the states, and most importantly, to private charities. The federal government has no authority to be involved in welfare. The government has no authority to be involved in our educational system. They have no authority to be involved in health insurance, and I could go on and on and on.
So
it's time. I'm writing a book called "Shut Her Down."
Oh, okay. Well, let's go on a little bit more. Shall we eliminate farm subsidies as well?
Absolutely. We have no business being in the farming business.
And one more, foreign aid. We tax American people to give the money away to other people.
Foreign aid's a different animal.
You think it's okay to redistribute the money from? Yeah, let me just ask the question. Do you think it's okay for the government to forcefully take the money from the U.S. taxpayers and then just give it to foreigners?
First of all, I would repeal the 16th Amendment, so that the federal government couldn't tax your income. But
excellent.
But secondly, there are functions, legitimate functions of the federal government.
Absolutely.
Keep a military, provide for the defense, and provide for international affairs. And
that's diplomacy, right?
That's diplomacy.
But we don't have to give them money. We could just have an embassy.
Well, that may be part of the diplomacy. There may be something that we want from a particular country that we can create a treaty that calls for us to be involved. But I'm not against foreign aid.
No, so you think it's. But previously you had said that we shouldn't redistribute our citizens' wealth. Isn't that an example of redistribution?
No.
When we tax the American citizens and give the money to foreigners?
No, that it depends on what you give the money for.
Why should
making treaties with foreign countries is not redistribution of wealth.
No, treaties is fine, but why would we make a treaty where we have to give them money?
Because there may be some instance where we have a fiduciary responsibility in that country, and that might be part of it. That's not redistribution of wealth. You have to pay taxes. For the government.
But is that a proper function of the federal government to help out other countries and take care of other countries' problems?
I didn't say that. You did.
Oh, well, fiduciary responsibility to help them.
No, fiduciary responsibility.
We agree that the federal government is supposed to protect our rights.
Continue this?
I'm sorry, yes.
I'll tell you what, you interview yourself.
No.
No, you don't let me talk.